Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Rutland Town Select Board. This is our regular meeting. It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. Present are Kurt Hathaway, Joe DiNardo, Mary Ashcroft, Matt Getty, and Sharon Russell. Please rise and join me for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
all.
Mary,
ma'am.
could I ask for a moment of silence for the people in Florida?
Oh, and Tennessee and Georgia. Yes, please. So just a moment of silence, please, for all of those who lost their lives in the weather event, the hurricane that came up through the south, and unfortunately they're facing another one. Thank you. All right, minutes of the meeting of September 27th. In your packet, you have two small changes, but I'll take a motion first and then I'll. September 24th, okay, yeah. Not the 27th. Yeah.
I move to approve.
Motion's been made and seconded, Matt and Kurt. My proposal for a change is on the first page. And this is where the discussion of Diamond Run Mall. Item number 2. The full development of the former Diamond Run Mall site was announced, not announcement. And I would add Mr. Anthony's company and Walmart will be co-applicants on the Act 250 application. Okay, so maker of the motion, you okay with that?
Yep.
Seconder of the motion, okay. Any other additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor of adopting the minutes of the September 24th meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And a motion carries unanimously, and here come the minutes. Okay. Any board member announcements? Ooh, suddenly the room fills up.
You look down and what's on this people.
Look at that. Okay, moving right along. Update from the select board chair. First thing, I opened my email a couple of mornings ago and found an email from Jim Hall, who is tendering his resignation from the Planning Commission effective December 31st, 2024. So that will give us time to find a replacement, advertise it, and interview as we usually do. And Jim has been a really dedicated member of the Planning Commission. It's an excellent group with a good variety of opinions. And we have thrown a lot of stuff at them, and those folks have worked very, very hard. So we will miss Jim very much. So think about replacements. Hey, where's my pink folder? Okay. Thank you.
Not a lot going on tonight.
No, really.
Let's hope. Famous words.
Don't even go there. Okay, so replacement for Jim Hall. So Bill, if you could put an ad, start the process to solicit folks, and I'd encourage select board members to think about folks who might be interested in participating in our town government. That's a good place to get your feet wet.
See an alternate.
He is an alternate. We will be having an executive session at the end of the meeting. If you agree to go into executive session, we'll see at the time. And I do believe we have a new member of the police department to introduce this evening. Okay, would you like to come up and say hi?
Sure.
All right. welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Your name is?
Jared Dumas.
Okay, Jared, welcome very much, and thank you for joining the police force. You'll recall that at our meeting about a month ago, the police committee had gone through the screening process. And with the consent of the full board, we decided to extend an offer of employment to you, and I'm really glad you took it. So thank you. Because there is a close familial relationship, you will recall that the amendment we adopted for our personnel policy puts hiring, firing, and discipline in the hands of the select board. So we're it. Okay.
Hopefully I don't give you a reason to have to do any of that.
Excellent. So just to make it official that we are doing it and in charge, I'll entertain a motion to officially hire.
So moved.
He already started working, didn't he?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want him
You know,
sitting back.
really. Motion's made
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion? Any grueling questions? Too late.
I don't know, but he's a lot bigger than his dad.
All in favor of hiring Jared Dumas, please say aye. Aye. It's unanimous. So
Thank you.
you want to say anything to us now that you're safely hired?
Just very grateful to be here. Thank you.
We're glad to have you. So you're off the hot seat.
Thanks.
Thank you.
He's got to stay the whole meeting though.
Oh, that's cool.
That's first initiation.
Well,
That's right.
fine.
he does something productive.
Was that initiation?
All
You have to
right.
stay through the meeting?
So thus concludes the update from the board chair.
Nothing on-
Are there any questions from
You've
the
seen that
floor
by this
or public comments or folks who are not otherwise on the agenda who want to say something or address the board? And there's no one in the back of the room that want to say anything. Is there anyone on the Zoom screen? Okay, moving right along. Now, did we tell Logan Solomon that we,
I'd like him a specific time.
okay, all right, he is on. If you look under action items, the board to meet with Logan Solomon of the Rutland Regional Planning Commission to discuss the regional plan. Is with agreement of the board or consensus, we'll take him out of order and put him on now. Is that
Sure.
okay with folks? Okay, Logan, you're on.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being able to put me on the agenda. The Rutland Regional Planning Commission I'm here to talk tonight about our second phase of the update to the Rutland Regional Plan. Just some background, like Rutland Town, we have our own plan that kind of talks about various planning topics with a focus of intermunicipal kind of, I would say like an intermunicipal lens, essentially. And so I'm here tonight to kind of talk about phase 2 of our public engagement for that plan. Really, phase 1, which had occurred in January through March of 2024, we kind of did a variety of ways to engage in the public to get us, kind of set the foundation of drafting the plan, which I forgot to mention. The plan, we're hoping to have it adopted by mid 2026. So we're still some ways out, but this is really an important time to get input, because if we need to make a pivot, it's really around now to do so. But yeah, in phase 1, that January through March timeframe, we met with every select board in the region, all 27 of them, and kind of gave them kind of a PSA of all of our other public engagement to come. We had 21 pop-ups where we kind of tagged along to existing events across the region and kind of met people where they're at. We had 5 what we called open houses, which were kind of our own events centered around the plan. And then really kind of our most foundational way of getting public engagement was this survey, and we collected over 1,200 responses. And so all of that in phase 1 was really a good foundation, and we kind of set out and wrote our first draft. Phase 2 is kind of looking and checking to see if what we heard in phase 1 is correct. as well as we're hoping to get input on some draft policies. And I'll mention this website a few times, but everything relating to this plan update is at rutlandrtc.org/plan 2026. And I'll make sure to drop that in the online chat as well. But yeah, so the survey, all that information's on there. This phase 2 that we're doing now, which is, starting in September and running through the end of November, we're still going to all 27 town select board meetings to just, promote awareness, as well as we're doing 5 of those pop-ups to tag along at existing events across the region. And we're doing 2 of our own events, what we're calling feedback sessions, which are dedicated to getting input on the policies. And I'll just put a plug that we had our first one about maybe a week or 2 ago. And our next one is October 30th. So I just wanted to make a plug, and all the information on that event is also on our website, rutlandrtc.org/plan 2026. But really the big picture is we're really just trying to get as much input as we can. So in addition to all those ways to engage, we welcome anyone to email us at our specific email address of plan2026@rutlandrtc.org. And then we also have our physical mailing address. And last time I'll say this website address, but really, all this information I've talked about is on that same web address, rutlandrtc.org/plan 2026. But I really just want to thank you so much for taking time to put me on the agenda to talk about this. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So what you've got on the website is a draft plan, and we should go look at it and then feed comments to you.
Yeah, so the what we have currently is our draft policies. And that's really kind of the plan kind of really sets the stage for those policies. So the policies are kind of a synopsis. It's our first draft. We still have a lot of iterations to come. So kind of the feedback is interwoven, but the policies in a lot of ways kind of captures the big themes relating to the plan in short. And as you can imagine, the actual plan itself is going to be fairly sizable. But down the line, there'll be opportunities for public input as we get closer.
Okay. So questions of Logan and the Regional Planning Commission? No, we're going easy on you tonight.
Yeah. Well, again, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to put me on the agenda to talk about that. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Logan. And we'll get back to you if we have any issues. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do. Bye.
So time for the regular agenda. Mike Rowe, Town Rec Director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Not much to report other than we are doing the makeover, not the makeover, just the infield next week with the help of Dave and the crew over at Dewey Field. The fence was put up at Dewey Field. They fixed the back 3/4 of the fence with new mesh at Dewey. That's original from a long time ago. You approved it a long time ago. It just got done last week and it came out very good. There's probably one more mowing in the park, if we get to that point. The Halloween party is on the 25th. So if you care to come out between 4:30 and 6 and want to walk the trails, the 8th graders are doing a great job of designing the activities. So far, we do have the police department and the fire department there. So if Highway wants to come out, you're more than welcome to.
You guys are pretty scary. It'd be good.
Yeah. So that's underway. And then our fall soccer is still going. We've got about 2 or 3 more weeks. So you can check the website for if you want to go to game. I saw Billy there enjoying himself the other day. It's been beautiful weather. So it's been nice to go and not freeze or get rained on. And then winter will be approaching us sooner rather than later. So we had a committee meeting, but my two partners in crime can update you with that. And that's all I really have. Oh, we did, the water is off at the pool and it will get shut off at Dewey once we do the sod. We have to water it for a while, but that's scheduled for the 25th to get shut off at Northwood and the rest. Yes, that is a sign that it is time.
Okay, rec committee report.
Well, do you want me to do it or?
Please.
Okay. We met and we discussed with Mike a program that he had come to us about as a full-time director a year from now. Am I correct, Mike?
Well, starting in the next,
Next fiscal year.
yes, budgeting for next fiscal year.
Okay. So without, and the two of us agreed this is a great plan. Rutland Town has grown. Northwood Park is spectacular, in my opinion. I think we're very lucky. We've had some good directors. Each one has taken it a little further. Mike has realized that now that whole area, it's time that we look to having a full-time director. So without going any further, I'm going to ask Mike to explain to all of you folks what his plan is, so that the whole board hears it. And some of it is not going to raise our, because we're just merging things like the senior program and that all under recreation now. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Mike.
So, I'm getting close to, I need to I'd like to do a job change. I do this job, but I'd like to make it a full-time. Did kind of my research, the surrounding towns, except for West Rutland and Clarendon, all have full-time recreation directors. The city has 3 program directors. And Mary has one of those. I have one more that you guys can look at that I gave to the committee. As far as a proposal, mine would be more of a maintenance and recreation director under the full-time umbrella. With the understanding that we need to increase our programming, but being a part-time, I don't have as much as I want to put into it. And now that I'd like to kind of shift my career, I'd really like to put my full weight behind it and kind of catch up with the times. The regular local towns around us have their own full-time director. Mine would be more of a hybrid. I'd still be doing the maintenance part up at Dewey. I mean, at Northwood, but as well as being the director of programming. So like Sharon said, incorporating the seniors, which we have talked about, and bringing them under our umbrella, which is a fantastic idea. So I've already kind of started that process. More winter programming, just more programming in general for anybody. As far as recreation with our town, you know, at some point we will have the discussion on a new pool, and that would be part of it. My plan is a 10-year for me to continue for another 10 years. 5 years, I'll reevaluate if I'm able to get up and down on a 0 turn, but 10 years, I can do that.
We'll rig up a winch. We'll get you out.
That would be awesome. I'm sure
We'll
Dave,
get you
I'm
on
sure
there.
Dave's got plenty of winches that can do that.
I'll let
it's-
you borrow my step stools.
So I think it's just really time in talking with other directors of what they're able to kind of sink their teeth into, being that's their full-time job and mine being a part-time job. I would really like to shift gears and do that. Obviously we're in the budgeting season very shortly, so it would take effect next this July with a new budget. And when we're putting our budget together, my proposal is to basically take the maintenance part, add that to my current salary, then just put money back into maintenance so that Chuck over at Dewey, or when I have the highway guys kick in to help out for things that I can't handle, like a wood chipper, though I can stand and feed it, I cannot run it and things like that. So there's money to pay for them. So on that proposal, it says at the bottom, between 12 and 15,000 for that, with then bringing over the senior money, which is in the general account. So my budget would go up anyway, taking that money over and putting in its own line item in the rec budget account. So I'm hoping to keep it at around 198,000. total, which is, it's an increase. But it's not a huge increase. I wouldn't take any insurance. My wife is already going to be taking that. So that part of it isn't falling upon the select board at this time, but it would set you up in the future for moving forward as having a full-time position. Like I said, Pittsford, Castleton is getting one, Brandon, Killington has full-time. The city has 3 program directors, and the money that they make is listed on that note that I have for you. So kind of my proposal, I know it's putting the cart before the horse, but we are in budgeting season, and it would be nice to know if you are in support of that before I move forward with that. So that's
And you
part of
will,
it.
you will have to go on the budget for, or on the ballot for that.
Yes, and obviously it's voter approved. So ultimately it falls on the voters whether they approve my budget or not.
Looking for a salaried position or an hourly position? How would
Salary.
you like to do it?
Salary. I don't care about hourly.
Well, no.
I work when I
because-
work. Salary,
No,
straight
but
salary.
it does make it, well, that's a discussion I want
Yes.
to have with the rest of you guys, but
Okay.
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
It would
okay.
be, for
No,
me, it's a
it would make
salary.
Difference to us as we do budget.
I do not want the hourly. I want it as a salary position because I'm all over the place. You know, as far as time, there's no like you work 9 to 5,
Winter time, you're gonna do way less. Summertime, you're gonna be like,
way more.
it's gonna be like farming, 80-hour weeks, and then you go to
Correct.
40-hour weeks.
But there's also like I have plans in the park to actually incorporate trails for taking the trails we have and turning them into cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. So getting the rink going up at school more than it can be with what we do now, more senior stuff, other winter programming that we can do. Like we filled in so we can do some sliding up at the park for people that want to take their kids sliding. So there's lots that are on my mind to do. So the winter, yes, would be a little bit less than, obviously the summer is very busy with the pool and everything else that's going on. So with that in mind.
So we don't have a number, and we won't until the budget process. We get into that. But there's the concept, and I think it's do we have a sense of the board to give some guidance to Mike and the rec committee? And by the way, what's the rec committee's recommendation on this?
We approved it. I mean, it's in the planning. And I think Mike has some terrific ideas. And I think it's time,
As far as
and he's willing to do salary. So, I mean, that says to me, I mean, I walk at Northwood, and sometimes I go at 7 o'clock at night when a nice night, and he's still out on the lawnmowers. So I think we're lucky we have somebody that's willing to do salaried and isn't counting the hours, and, go ahead, you were.
yeah, I mean, as far as a number, I mean, basically it's about 15,000 to cover the increase and for that you're getting leadership of the seniors, which has been lacking. Frankly, I mean, it would be nice if there were volunteers stepping up to do that, but right now there's not. And so that you could have some revitalization there, as well as, all the other things that Mike mentioned, so
Yeah, thank you
largely
for-
increased like winter and programming that we don't currently have.
Thank you for not saying rejuvenating the seniors.
What you missed on that?
Okay, so do we charge the rec committee with
Forward with
moving
it.
ahead with that concept?
Yep.
So I think,
Yep.
yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Don't the rest of you get any ideas?
They're already there.
They're all pretty.
Most of them, they're probably, it's already there. Do you have anything for me? Any questions for me?
What was the day again for the Halloween party?
Okay, that's the 25th.
25th, okay.
And we did just set the senior luncheon at school is going to be on the 17th with the band performing
17th of,
December. And I'm currently working on one.
What day of
for
the week is that?
I want to say it's a Tuesday because their concert's on a Wednesday. It just happened to be, their concerts on a Wednesday, their practice the day before.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
okay,
You go with the band, you know,
yeah, all right.
go around the band. It's always about the
And-
band. So
Did you get any feedback? We were asking the seniors to be in touch with you if they were
Some.
interested.
now I
Okay,
resent an email,
okay,
which
yeah,
people got, and some people did respond.
good.
Not as many as I was hoping, but like I told them, and you were there, and thank you for going to that.
Mhm.
It's going to be an ongoing process to build back up and especially going into the dormant months. I hate to say that because there's not a lot right now going on for them.
Yeah.
And they prefer to kind of stop in December and pick up back in March, I think is when they like to start up again. But hopefully we'll keep that going year round. Is the goal moving forward.
Good, okay.
All right.
There's nothing else? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Dave Sears, Town Road Commissioner. We have a highway committee report too, so.
All right, we've been busy couple weeks. We did 2 different sessions and completed an OSHA 10 course, which was absolutely riveting. It was good. You always pick up something. It's craziness, but it is what it is. We replaced a couple culverts in the last couple weeks. We did one on Pamela Drive that developed a sinkhole over the winter. Pulled that one out. There was pretty much no top and or bottom in it. And we did one on the entrance to Sand Hill Circle off of East Pittsford Road, and there was no top in that one either. So they were due. We burned the brush pile, got rid of that thing. It was way over time.
Sounds like another rec activity.
Sort of, yeah.
Seniors perhaps.
Did he do that?
Can I do what?
Burn the brush pile?
I could drive you a little tractor plow sidewalks.
Okay, never mind.
That's all my capability of plowing.
We have another sinkhole on Seward Road. We're slated to dig that Monday. There's about a 1.5 foot hole in the pavement and just as big a one in the top of the pipe. So that one's coming out. And another one on Post Road across Manette Terrace and the sidewalk, which is coming out of a DI, daylights over the bank. So a lot of these old galvanized culverts are starting to show their age, coming apart. And today we rented a grader from Windmill and we did Boardman Hill and Quarterline Road before anybody from Clarendon complained about it. So
It's funny, I went to Pulteney and they're doing their roads out by Pond Hill and I'm thinking, gotta bring it up tonight and ask Dave what his plans are for Quarterline.
done.
Perfect.
And that's what I got.
Okay, Highway Committee, Matt.
We did. We discussed the sidewalk. There's not a lot there. It's just going over the basic list of things to do, tasks, and we all made sure we were in agreement. The state was on
This is
there.
the Route 7 sidewalk,
Yeah,
JP sidewalk,
the JP sidewalk, the 4 to 6 year plan.
right?
Anyway, and we discussed that at length. And then, that was just mostly informational, not a lot from that, nothing to decide or do. Just making sure everybody's on the same page. There are a couple of, the one discussion was there was a concerns meeting that we've had, but I guess they're gonna plan another meeting, local concerns, so the neighbors or somebody wanna come in, so at some point that will be scheduled. I don't think we did that, and then that's probably the thing, deal with that. Then Dave and I discussed at length Park Street. So a few things that need to be established is where the town city line is, how the city designates it. Are they on board with giving up the road? Because if you were going to gate that road, it would have to be done right there where the pavement ends, just past where that little industrial park is, where Windmill and Gebo's and that, because there's actually, I went down after we talked and I wanted to look at that. There's guardrails there and I think there's a culvert there and something, so that would be the place to gate it so that you can't get around it. But everybody would have to be on board with that. So Dave was gonna start looking into talking with the city and see what their
Okay.
thoughts. I did drive down the road. Till you get way out back down there and there's a meadow with a gate on it. Yep. So I don't know who owns that meadow.
The
Or is that
gate,
yours?
the gate was put up by the highway department.
Yeah.
I got that snippet.
Okay.
So the gate was put up by the highway department. That is the city town line.
Oh,
Way
okay.
down there.
Yeah.
It's way, yeah, it's way down.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
that's like
so-
right on the river. Yeah.
Yeah, and our short section is got changed to a legal trail at one point in time.
Yeah. So there's a spot down there. I know that when the slaughterhouse burnt, I remember we went down and we pumped water from, there's that one spot where you can back into the creek.
Mhm.
And so actually the line is way down there.
Yeah.
So that whole road belongs to the city,
Okay.
was the nuts and bolts of it. So if it's going to be, so where you're cleaning stuff up, I'm guessing on either side is city. Would
If
be my
that
thought,
gate
right?
is the line and that gate actually
That gate is
runs
just, yeah,
with the creek.
yeah.
Mm.
So
The
And it's,
gate,
and it's beyond
think the
where that
gates-
house used to be.
the gates maybe technically in the city.
but you know, where that gate is,
They're gonna argue.
No.
right? The point being that road is almost entirely in the city
Okay.
and none of it's ours, so we may not be able to do anything, but the dumping problem
Mm.
is not ours.
Yeah.
If that's the
Oh, Called
case.
Billings Bridge Trail section of the town.
There it is.
Okay.
The Billings Bridge
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good name. for it.
was burned in 1953.
Yeah.
19 or 18.
No, no,
1950.
it's built.
Did you do that,
Probably,
Dell?
But it was burned.
No, but I know who did.
Okay.
So,
Limitations is over.
so I don't know what we want to do with it from here, but
Yeah.
I think this would be up to, now if the city wanted to gate it and stop the problem, but any dumping down there, I guess we'd have to look at a map bill to determine that those fields on either side are definitely in the city, where the line actually is.
I got lots of maps you can look at.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll look at,
because
because when
the
we went
town
down and
owns
rescued,
land down there.
when we went down and rescued the dog out of the creek that was in there several 28, 9, 10, 14 years ago, we were actually in the city. I thought we were in the
28,
town, but we were
9,
actually in the city.
Yeah, it
That's-
meanders through there. but
Probably 20.
Property,
Yeah.
the municipal boundary
Yeah.
is
Probably 20 years ago.
straight down through there, so it's a straight shot.
All right, so I think
Okay,
whatever, but I guess it's gonna be in the city's hands, so.
all right.
Next time, I guess there's a big bunch of stuff, we have to call DPW and they can go down. And then after they do that a few times, they'll put a gate up,
They
Yeah.
might.
Okay.
give whoever a key,
Fair
but that
enough.
was
Well.
discussed. The other thing that I did, Dave and I, we did discuss some about, any additional purchases. He had talked about purchasing an excavator. So I told him we need to be discussing that as the budget process goes. And, we also did discuss a little bit about and it may not have been in this meeting, but the depreciation fund for highway. As we've expanded our equipment and our personnel, we need to probably look at that going up a little bit to keep up with what we would be needing to replace. I don't know if he wants to replace the loader this year.
We increased that last year.
We bought
We just
2 new
talked about it.
trucks, but we didn't do the other end. So at some point, we have to do the other end to kind of match with that. But, you know, I think he's been looking into different avenues for purchasing equipment. And one of the suggestions that I had made is that if we did have some funds that had been accumulated in the carryover, that the possibility of purchasing an excavator through new equipment and utilizing those funds. Rather than,
In your policy binders, under the purchasing policy, the back of that has the history of all the depreciation accounts. codes.
Good, thanks.
so I think that was pretty much everything
Pretty much, yeah.
that we discussed in that meeting.
All right, thank you.
We do have a letter from William Halsey up on Post Road. He has been complaining about water running down his driveway. Dave's been there, I've been there. I'm not sure what the problem is. He had some work done a number of years ago. He said it made it better and now it's not good. The water runs off either Post Road extension, Post Road runs down his driveway. It's washing out his sure pack and then it ends up on his leach field. So he wanted to know what he can do. I think the best thing is maybe if Dave wants to, get Robert Clark or somebody up to take a look at it. If we put in some kind of a drop inlet in the culvert, you're gonna go diagonal across Post Road and you're gonna dump it in that field.
Right.
So now the water that he's having problem with is gonna be somebody else's problem. So I don't know what the solution there is. But maybe another set of, that would be my suggestion. If the board's okay, just see what's going on there.
You got money in engineering to pay Mr. Clark to take a look?
Probably.
I'd have to look. It's between the Hannah Drive sidewalk extension
Mhm.
and
Simon's, right?
Simons Avenue.
Right.
It's probably going to eat up quite a bit of it.
And if we don't, then we may have to wait until, or figure out some way to do it. But at some point, we gotta take it. He's called me numerous times, and I just don't know what the solution, wherever the water was going, had it stopped. For whatever particular reason. I don't know what that is.
I mean, we went there one day and it was raining, one of those gully washers, and it was kind of coming down off that little piece of Post Road extension. It was running through the stone, and then he's got like a decorative wall out there. It was actually going under the wall and coming out halfway, well, not halfway down the wall into his driveway. So probably 10, 12 feet into his driveway was where it was coming under the wall. And according to the letter that he sent, he had a contractor come in and take all of that roadside material out and put in stone. Well, the water's going to run through the stone. And, when it was all brand new, there was probably some fines in there, and it kept the water from going under the wall. The water's actually going under the wall now.
We have a town road book. Is there anything in there about any easements or work done?
But it's all in the, whatever was done was in the right of way where his mailbox is.
Yeah.
The only other thing would be if there's some way to put a drop inlet at that point where the mailbox, catch it and then run it out somewhere onto his property. Away from his leach field, but that'd be a lot of ditching and digging.
But that's the problem there is you end up running it down across the front of his property.
Yeah.
That's a long haul through there. And the place was built in a hole.
Yeah, that house, that's that little house that
It's
sits
the
off the
old
road.
schoolhouse.
Old schoolhouse.
The old
Yeah.
schoolhouse, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you come around that corner too fast, you're gonna be in the living room.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
I know, that's just, that keeps cropping up and it hasn't gone away.
Okay, well, I'll leave you folks to make recommends and build it in the budget if you need to.
And if we don't have money this year, then we'll just have to wait and.
Rainy season's almost over.
Oh, just don't even do that. All right, any questions for our road commissioner? I don't think we have anything else here. No, doesn't look it. Okay,
Good.
thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Dave.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, next up, Marcia Chioffi, Town Head Lister. Marcia this evening, okay. Chris Clark, Town Fire Chief. Hey, live and in person, welcome.
Couple things tonight.
Okay,
We've got our new washer. It's already been delivered to the station.
Perfect.
The new dryer is supposed to be here this week. Total cost for both was a little under 20,000. Let's see here. Got a letter with for you guys to read over. Thought I had more, but I guess not.
There you go.
Yes, and
you want to grab that, Sharon, and pass it down
Oh,
so we
yeah.
can see it too.
For a fundraiser type thing.
Oh, okay. So this is you'll recall that we asked the fire department if they would be willing to undertake a fundraiser to pay for a cascade system. And they have, I believe the plan is to solicit local businesses by means of this letter. It's written by Chris as the fire chief, and essentially he introduces himself. He's writing today to seek your support for a critical, innovative initiative to significantly enhance our department's ability to serve and protect our community. Would you rather read it, or do you want me to?
No,
read
you
it?
can read it. You're doing it.
Okay. As you may know, our fire department is committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of all residents in our town. To maintain the highest standard of emergency response, we are in need of a new cascade system. The system is essential for refilling of our self-contained breathing apparatus, tanks, which are crucial for our firefighters' safety during operations in hazardous environments. The cost of acquiring a new cascade system is substantial. And while we have some funds allocated toward this purchase, we are still short of the cost. This is where we hope to partner with generous and community-focused businesses like yours. We kindly request your support in the form of a financial contribution toward the purchase of the cascade system. Your donation will directly impact our ability to respond effectively to emergencies, ensuring that our firefighters have the equipment they need to perform their duties safely and efficiently. In recognition of your generous support, we would be honored to acknowledge your business in our community outreach programs, on our social media platforms, and at our open house event. Your contribution will not only enhance public safety, but also demonstrate your commitment to the well-being of our community. Thank you for considering our request. We'd be grateful for any assistance, and so on. Okay, so this comments?
Yeah, Joe Anthony with the new Walmart.
Can't wait 3 years.
You mean you don't want to wait till that, whatever August it is?
So
But it's
the-
worth a try.
Yeah, no, I think this is good, and
I
thank
think
you.
so.
I do too.
If you need our approval for it, we're fine. I think we're all fine with you going ahead.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
approve them doing it, so.
Okay, yes.
I think it's a great
All
idea,
right,
Chris.
thank you. Yeah,
All right, my next order of business here. I've got some pictures of some stuff we designed for the front of the new building.
thank you. Oh, okay.
Got a town seal, like all our trucks, and the Rutland Town emblem and the name of the truck over the door. They're not just stickers, they're actually made signs. So they last for a long time. I got some pricing. So for the 4 vehicle names, it's $3,456. For the 1 town seal, it's $1,188.68. For the town shield, it's $1,111.05. And for the design was $100. So the only thing they don't have on here is installation, because they have to go, they went there and took this picture, but they didn't like see how they could hang them up there. So I don't know the installation price, but everything else is a little shy of $6,000.
Okay, so this was one vendor and you got a quote. Is this a preferred vendor?
Yep, it's awesome graphics.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have a little discussion later in the meeting about what is in our capital. Was signage included?
I don't know.
JP question, is JP? Yes, he is.
John?
John Paul?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, have you seen the proposed signage that Chris presented to us with the town shield and the town seal, as well as the 4 named vehicle bays?
I have.
Okay, and is this cost included in the VMS proposal?
Not that I'm aware of. There is a sign package included with the building, I'd have to look at the plans to refresh my memory as to what it is. But I don't know why it can't be incorporated into what they had planned on putting up.
Okay,
Figure out what that included and if
Yeah.
this, then go from there.
yeah, okay. Okay, so could you get this to, and the numbers to JP? And then he'll go
can.
through and
Yep.
see how much of this is included already.
Okay.
And then by then, we will have reviewed how much is left in our capital fund, and we'll be back in touch. You can come in for the balance as needed.
All right.
Like,
Okay.
can you find out about the install price also?
Yes, because
They have,
What else
when I
like-
get a chance to drive up there, they're gonna drive up there.
VMS might be installing something, so.
Yeah, they might even
Okay.
put it up.
Did you decide
If
to
this-
mix the version with the
This
American
worked
flag?
well there because
Yeah, I didn't like the flag on there. I'm assuming there's gonna be a flag pole somewhere, so.
Depends on how much ledge we have to blast to put it in there.
we have to blast the ledge anyway, I think.
Put it over by the
yes and
gas
no, we may
tank.
not.
I assume that
I can go up on a Saturday and hammer a hole for a flagpole if I have to.
you can practice. I assume engine two is over at the other building.
You know, it
It
would
is,
be
yeah.
good.
This
you know,
looks nice.
These were hung by the, by VMS or whoever, you know, because of the siding. They might want to be the ones
Yes.
putting these up.
Mhm.
They would know the proper way to attach those to
Yeah.
this. You know, you wouldn't want to ruin that green side.
I don't know.
I have a
Yeah.
comment to make
But-
about the color. I'm a fan of watching This Old House.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And if you look at the opening shot or maybe the closing shot of This Old House, big old barn, I think it's in New Hampshire somewhere. It is slightly darker color green on the trim and red, not too far from the red there. This is This Old House colors. Just wanted you guys to know that.
Not that I'm gonna want to get into this, but what bothers me a little more about the color, Chris, is if you look at the tower, the seams on the siding go the opposite way of the rest of the building,
I've noticed.
and that's not the way it should be. And I don't know who designed that. The seam should always go the same way. So you've got vertical seams on 90% of the building, and the tallest part has horizontal seams. And that stands out more to me than the color. You can, and it's like, why are they different? Yeah, but anyway, but I like that. That looks,
Yeah.
those colors look
Yes.
good with that.
So
That
the
looks good with that.
gold those are gold letters, but it's like the same we put on the trucks. So,
Okay.
Pretty similar to the sign, the town patch that's on center.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. We
So-
should
Well, I was in
should
Wells,
probably-
Maine, and their fire station
Budget for a set of,
is that color.
should probably budget for a set of
And
these
it,
for,
and it does look good.
Well, we
Station
asked to get
two.
a drawing for both stations, but
Yeah.
they didn't get that far yet.
yeah, it'd be nice to see these
They look,
signs over
yeah,
there at some
yeah.
point.
it
Look
does.
nice. Cool.
Okay. So
But
you'll
that does
get
look
this
good.
and the numbers to JP, and JP
I
will
will.
find out how much is covered. Thank you.
Our new pickup truck is finished. Should be here either this week or early next week. So we just got to get the letters put on at Awesome Graphics and it'll be ready to go.
Hey, the guy that's buying the old one, has he come up with the money?
He has, but he hasn't paid for it because he doesn't know if there's 36 other people driving it around.
Okay.
It's got a dent in it. She's still gonna be town owned.
Has it been out of there yet? Have you used it at all this year?
I drive it every Wednesday.
Okay.
Smoke up the garage for Dave, so. This month, we're actually going a few places. We got fire prevention on Thursday at the school for the kids. Whatever day Mike said, we're going to the Halloween thing there, 20th. 25th.
Friday the 25th.
The 20th, we're going to Wonder Feet
Oh,
to do
good.
candy downtown.
Yeah.
And the 29th, we're going up to the Gables to do candy for all the kids that visit their
Good,
grandparents and such.
good.
Busy month.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's all I got.
Questions for our fire chief? Yep. Are we in the Halloween parade? Is the fire?
We're not, we've
Okay.
never done it in my
Yeah.
time anyway.
Okay.
I don't, well,
Yeah, I don't remember it, so. Okay, so thank you very much, chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. to Kari Clark, Town Clerk and Treasurer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You have two liquor licenses in front of you. I
I
believe
do.
more are coming. One of them is for a 6-month. We have one East Asian restaurant that does 6 months, and it's she was in the other day looking for approval for that. And then the other one is the Stewart's Shops. If you have listened to the news, they are buying the Jollies. And I did receive one of those so far. I believe when I was leaving today, there is going to be another one. It looks like they might be buying the one near Back on Track. That's the one in front of you. So it looks like they're looking for approval for that license tonight. There might be more in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. So we'll start with the East Asian, which is a 6-month license and third class license they're looking for. I was trying to figure out, have we traditionally, all of us signed it when we approve?
Somewhere,
Yeah, there's,
pick a spot.
is there any motion? And let me look to the police chief and no complaints, no issues there. Okay, is there a motion on third class restaurant bar license 6 months for East Restaurant LLC?
So move.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 It's unanimous. Okay, and the next is the second class license for Stewart Shops buying the Jolly facility at 351 US Route 4. I'm looking at the police chief. Any issues there? No? Okay. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion? If all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So I'm going to circulate this. Everybody can sign both of them. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, I think it's just a one pager. Okay, Kari, those will be here for you.
Okay, and the only other thing is I wanted to talk a little bit about the next election. By now, most people have received their ballots in the mail. We are encountering a couple of things to remember. First of all, the state sent them out. You can return them to us in person or by mail, or wait till wait till election day in November and go to the polls and vote on them, or just bring them in filled in and drop them in the box. Totally fine with that. There are some people that are calling the office and they're wondering where their ballots are. And we are finding that this wasn't a perfect system. The state tried their best, but they did miss a couple people. So if you are questioning why you didn't receive a ballot and you know that you are an active voter, just give me a call, and myself, Deb, or Susan will help you figure out where it was or what happened or what we need to do for next steps. Because it has been happening. There are some return ballots in our office that we can go through. We're finding that these days, the mail is sorted by barcode on the front of it, not just election mail, but any mail. And it seems as though that system kind of wasn't all perfect either. So they are sending ballots back to legit people, or to us, that are completely legit. And if you're looking for it, it could be in our office. So just give us a call and we'll try our best to help you. But other than that, we will get a poll schedule up and going. We're meeting in, I think it's next week that I warned a BCA meeting. to come up with our poll workers. I have had some outreach for extra people that would like to volunteer if we need some help. Typically, we're pretty good, but at the last minute, sometimes people get sick. So any volunteers out there that are willing to work the polls on election day is greatly appreciated. Just reach out to me. And that's about it.
Any questions for our town clerk and treasurer, Kari Clark? While you're on, let's take a look at the minutes of the finance committee meeting, which we had with Kari and our auditor, Andrew Simons, and Matt and I. And I'm going to encourage you to hang on to these minutes because there was a lot of discussion. We had a really good session figuring out where we were. And if you look at the page 2, the backside, that is a summary. The top half of that page is a summary of our best estimate, Kari and Andrew's best estimate of what is in the capital fund. And we also had all of the things that we as a board had approved. So we started with an amount somewhere between 700,000 and 800,000. And then we went through and deducted from that the things that, well, the capital improvement fund over expenditures, things that have been earmarked but not paid, the soft costs, so-called, of the public safety building, which is not the VMS construction costs, but the architect's cost and JP's cost. And then we came up with best available estimate of what is in and uncommitted in the capital improvement fund of $179,612. Now, we were fairly conservative, so there could well be more, but we shouldn't count on it. And I don't think there's going to be less because we were, as best we could, using actual figures that we knew of. So if this is for all department heads, if you're thinking of tapping the town's large capital fund, it isn't so large anymore. So be careful. And we will keep this in our desks so we can refer to this anytime we're asked to make an expenditure out of it, so we don't overspend. So with that said, any questions for Kari or the finance committee on that issue?
Mary, I would just encourage department
please.
heads also to review these numbers, and if there's anything you think that's still not there, please ask now, because we're doing our best to make sure that everything's accounted for and we don't run out of money. And these little things keep coming in, like signage, you know, these things add up, and we want to make sure that we've got the money there for it.
Yes. So anyway, there it is. And I think the pending issue, and I don't know as we voted on it, JP might want to refresh our memory on this, is the $33,000 for remaining costs for outfitting the interior. I don't think we approved that. We said we were holding it pending this meeting that we just had.
Correct. Minus the 1,800 or something.
Right. The shelving.
Shelving.
Okay.
Did he hear you?
That was only like 700. So
Great.
Okay.
Well, I move that we authorize JP to purchase the remaining items on that list.
Okay, up to, well, the approximate amount.
The items that he listed that added up to approximately $33,000.
Okay, there's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded, and this is,
John, do you hear us?
I am. I can hear you.
okay, good. So this is coming out, we've already subtracted that anticipating that there might be approval. So this doesn't come out of the 179.
Part of the.
It's part of the, what leads
Part
to
of the
that.
top.
math.
Right,
bottom of
okay.
that.
Part of the math already.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
So
Okay.
just a question on the additional soft costs.
Yep.
What are we referring to there? Any clue as to what that is, or is that just an estimated of things we don't know about?
Kari had, maybe I'll let somewhere between Kari and JP. Kari addressed how much we had already spent in those costs, and based upon her estimate of how much was left to do, the 200,000 was a, pretty, that should be more than enough. Am I paraphrasing that correctly, Kari?
That sounds about right. That figure was estimated from what JP already kind of started the project, knowing that the engineers gave out an approximate amount of money for the soft costs. So basically, Joe, it's like engineer costs and architect costs. So based on what I already calculated and what the maximum approximation was, we came up with about 200 left still. It could be more, it could be less.
Yeah, it's because I thought we had accounted for all of those at the beginning, but maybe some of that's just different than, taken differently, and then you have to repay it back to whatever, because I know there were some funds available from different accounts that we were putting toward those, and there was a certain amount we had estimated at the beginning.
Yeah, so I think Andrew really went through with Kari, all the different sources of funds. for
Well,
this. In fact,
that was the complicated part of this. We were taking money from 4 different cookie jars, or 5.
Yep.
And the numbers, it's hard, maybe, getting that all, keeping that track of that was more troublesome than we encountered, but.
Well, we also pulled out the thing that we showed the voters where the money was coming from. We had that in front of us, so Matt and I would double check with Kari and Andrew, and I think we felt pretty confident that we had, all of those things had poured into the bucket and we were drawing against that as appropriate, so.
Yeah, it's better to have a little cushion. Maybe if we don't use it, it's okay.
That would be fine.
I can live with that.
That would be fine. Okay, so that's on track. And thank you for your time on that, Kari. I know it was quite a long haul, but I'm glad we're there. Okay, and Kari also gave us an estimate, the approximate balance in the Cortina fund. And that was as of the date of the meeting, which was 9/25, approximately $125,000. And that includes the 2 checks that had been received up to that point. And I believe there's one more check that has been received, so that amount is up slightly. Okay, so that's what we met.
So my recollection is Andrew wanted to look at something on that. Kari, I'm wondering, has Andrew said anything further about that balance, or do you have any update on it?
He and I have not connected, no.
Okay, so it looks, that's the balance in the Cortina fund and in the capital construction fund. And there we are. So I'm going to put this in my top drawer, and when we are asked to spend out of either, that's our benchmark. So thank you. Anything else for our town clerk and treasurer?
Good.
Okay, if not, thank you very much, Kari.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, Mike Delehanty. No, Mike. Ed Dumas, Town Police Chief.
Yeah, he's not bad.
got the other form because we can't get our numbers to match. So Lynn, we took Lynn's at this point in time, which says total we had 118 calls minus 58, 182 calls minus 58. So 118 calls total. It says that we spent 91% of our time down at the south end of the town. But the other numbers from Valcor don't match this at all, not even close. So I gotta figure that out before I don't know if Valcor changed something or if Lynn's numbers are off. She says she's done everything the way she's done it. We don't know I think VSP's cases are included in the south end time because that's where law enforcement in general's done it, but I want to make sure before I say for sure. And I'll get the other ones next week too, for sure.
All right, questions on the stats from anyone?
It's not getting better.
It's not getting better, and it seems like our police force is tasked to be down south of the city 90% of the time, which is not fair to the rest of the town. And I don't see it ending because, quite frankly, the owners of the Cortina could care less. As long as the money's flowing in, that seems to be what they care about.
What was going on down at Dick's? Big sale?
At Dick's?
Yeah.
A big sale?
Well, I mean, compared to
It's
prior
called
months.
walkout
You
sale.
had 2 to 5 calls every other month, and this month 14.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody needs their camping gear.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all
What it
getting
is?
booted.
Most of it is, I think, so it was sweatshirts, a big run on Nike sweatshirts. So it's, they're like $100 a piece. I remember right.
okay.
The other question I asked Kari during your budget meeting, to go back a little bit. I said that I'd like to know what's coming in for the Cortina money so I can keep a better track of our overtime or whatever of what's being spent on the police department. So you just said our total was 120 some odd thousand for Cortina money so far. So I got these papers from Kari today, and I guess from the last minutes, this is what you guys wanted. They said to put on our, it says settlement funds, and this is, I guess, from up to date until ending 10/8/24. Settlement funds, I'm showing my top line of 47,250. So I guess maybe she said something about Andrew put all the money into the police department. So they did this thing up, and I am totally confused. Have no idea what you're talking. I don't know. I just can't figure it out.
Okay.
It had something to do with the way what you asked Andrew to do at the finance meeting, that this is what you wanted. That wasn't my understanding, but I'm not an accountant, so.
Yeah. What did we ask for?
I'm not sure what, I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
Take a look. I'm confused.
So I was just looking for the discussion under Cortina. I mentioned the balance. There may be more based upon what happened with unspent balance in the last fiscal year. Some further review is needed to determine what actually is. This will be verified with the audit report, which Andrew is working on. Funds were included in the current budget to be offset by Cortina in funds for the hire of a new officer. And then discussed what methodology is being used to handle these funds. If the same is used as before, fiscal year 24 would have a $67,000 surplus to be carried over, plus the 2 checks received in this fiscal year, and the balance would be approximately 105. Which somewhat
That's what but this, the way I'm looking at this, if they carry settlement funds carried over, it says 47,250, and I'm like, I've been told 89, I've been told 60 something, and now I'm looking at this, it says 47. So yeah, I don't
Okay,
understand.
yeah, because at the meeting, it was 67 carried over. So I guess that would be Kari, could you spend a little time with
We have to
Chief-
do it right now. I mean, I just.
Yeah, no, not now, but with Lynette and Chief Dumas, just so they can understand what is, and then we can amend the Cortina in balance if necessary.
Yeah, I can spend some time with them.
Okay, thank you very
It's
much.
gonna take a lot of time.
All right, any other questions for Ed Dumas, or well, Ed Dumas is in the hot seat, so we'll concentrate on him right now. Nope.
The other thing I'd say is we've had some homeless encampments not in the usual places sprout up in other parts of the town. So if you have woods that you like, you probably should walk them and make sure that somebody doesn't take up a homeless encampment, put on your property. The problem with them is they come with a lot of garbage, i.e. needles and things like that, especially if you have small children. You don't want them to run into these camps and get hurt. So we had one on McKinley Avenue. That's just a start. So I know a lot of you people own property on the outskirts of town that, and it don't necessarily have to be close to the downtown at this point in time. So.
Good tip, thank you.
That's about all I have this time.
It's also hunting season coming up, so those who are out camping, it's a tough time to be out in the woods because the hunters are going to be out there.
They are going to be
Yeah.
rudely surprised in some areas when they are discovered.
Opening weekend of rifle when the wood starts lighting up with the rifles.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't be camping in the woods this time of year.
I had a male and female coming up our driveway. They were going to go over and camp out in the woods.
Not in this lifetime.
And if we put the run to them. So keep an eye out on your corner over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for the chief? How's the new guy working out? It's kind of early, I know, but
I haven't spent a long time with it. It's Deputy Chief's project.
okay.
I don't suspect to be too many problems. So.
All right. And he's not grimacing, so I think things are going okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you very much. All right. John Paul Faignant, Town Health Officer, Public Safety Building Clerk, and Second Constable. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Not too much going on. Things are moving forward, but I did want to share with you an anxious moment that our contractor had. So the plumber, and there's two pumps associated with the fire station. One is to charge the sprinkler system, and the other is to fill the trucks and to wash the trucks. Two separate pumps out of the cistern. So the plumber ordered the first pump, and it was the normal 6 to 8 week lead time, but he never heard back about the pump to charge the sprinkler system. So he reached back out and was told that yes, the order could be filled and it would definitely be here by March 1st. Now, the building can't be occupied unless the sprinkler system is charged, and this was the pump that would have done that function. VMS took it upon itself to get with the state fire marshals. They came down and they redesigned the remaining pump, the pump that is here and installed, so that it can serve a dual function. The state is willing to go along with that for a limited period of time. The plumber will then come back in and retrofit the pump when it does come in to charge the system. So you'll have one pump dedicated to charging the sprinkler system and one pump for filling the tank, the trucks and washing them. But I thought that was pretty heads up on the part of the contractor. They did not
Yeah.
tell me that they had run into this problem at our weekly meeting because they wanted to try and have a fix before they presented the issue. But I mean, the plumber is mortified that he's got a 5-6 month lead time for this particular pump, but he couldn't locate it anywhere else.
Wow.
So disaster averted.
Yeah, thanks to VMS for the quick fix.
Yeah,
So-
no, they
Where along
really
the
pulled a
line,
heads
somebody
up.
forgot to order the pump though.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no, the
you
pump
heard
was
that we-
ordered. It just go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You faded out,
The pump
JP.
was the pump was ordered. He just never got confirmation. So when he circled back around to get confirmation, he said, "Oh yeah, we've got your order. It'll be there by March." At which point
Alrighty.
he's
It
calling
goes
his
right along with
cardiologist.
August.
Yeah, at which point he's calling his cardiologist, and you know. So
Hey,
it
you
worked
did
out.
hear that we went ahead and approved the 33,000 minus the 1,800 for the rest of the interior stuff.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, good. We should be all set. And, you know, Chris is going to be coming to talk with you about the signage, so we're good on that.
Good.
Okay,
Yep, that's
anything
all I had.
else? Okay,
Nope, that's all I
questions
had
for
for you.
JP with any of the hats that he wears? Oh, hey, who's installing the shelving that's here in the hallway? This is the one that we approved.
We are. Well, we're going to get a group of guys together Tuesday morning and put the shelves together. They're kind of like an erector set, and then that'll free up the service provider to come in and put their equipment in them.
Okay, good. Well, thank you.
It wasn't included in the contract, and it needs to get done. So Ted, Bill, Jared, and myself are going to get together Tuesday morning and put the shelves together, make them available to the internet provider, the service provider.
Good. Okay, well, thank you all for doing that. I had an erector set as a kid, but I'm not volunteering. All right. That's it for JP. We appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Barbara Noyes Pulling, Town Planning Commission Chair.
Good evening.
Hey,
I was
Barbara.
going to, hi, I was going to talk to about a couple items in the action items, if that's
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
The Planning Commission is looking into the Village Center or Planned Growth Center. The person at the state who's been doing this for a long time, very knowledgeable, Richard Amore, he's leaving. But he does have a replacement in-house. So I'm going to meet with Richard and his replacement tomorrow morning, and we're just going to take a first look at this, first blush, and then set up a site visit or two, hopefully, with that. Is there anything else you wanted us to do at this point?
No, I think it's just giving us an idea of if we can do a village center and where would it be?
Right. Yeah, so I feel fortunate. We still be able to grab some of Richard's time before he leaves.
Yeah, good.
So that should work out well. And the other thing would be the Pocket Park.
Yes.
So, yeah, we had the meeting with GMP, and also a couple of grants have surfaced. They'll be opening up later this month. There'll be some webinars. And both of them kind of fit what we're looking for. One is a recreational trails program through the Federal Highway Administration. And that's for municipalities and nonprofits and other government entities. And it will pay for maintenance or restoration of existing trails, construction of new trails, development and rehab of trailside and trailhead amenities and facilities, land acquisitions, which we'll get into in a couple of minutes, I guess, and educational projects. And $50,000 maximum per grant there, 20% match. That one looks pretty promising. Not quite sure how competitive that one or this other one that is also originates with the feds. It's the National Park Service, and it goes through the State Department of Forest, Parks, and Rec. It's called the Land and Water Conservation Fund, but that's a little misleading. Again, municipal entities and state agencies are the only ones allowed to apply for this, and eligible projects, what pertains to us would be development of new outdoor recreation facilities. And that one, each request can go from 25,000 to $1 million, and there's a 50% match there. So again, I'll go to the webinars. I think they're next week, and the application rounds open up next week, and probably we'll find out next week, but they'll probably last at least a month or two for those. So I can go to the webinars and report back what I hear and see if we want to go for either or both of these.
All right, thank you very much. That's good, really good, in fact, especially the first one, because that's probably right in the range, and a 20% match on our part, if we should get a $50,000 one, that we could deal with that. Yeah. So we will be going into executive session if the board agrees to discuss some of the land acquisition questions and advice of counsel a little bit. So if you could maybe stay on when we go into executive session, fill in the gaps, that would be good.
Okay.
All right. Next, Larry Delvenary, who was here and then disappeared.
He says he's all set.
He's all set? Okay. And Bill Sweet, Town Administrator. Hi.
You've done very well. Packet's all done. Nice easy one. Not too much. The November 5th board meeting. Are we doing that on the Monday or the Wednesday?
Oh, it falls on election day,
Yes, it
doesn't
does.
it? Okay, what's your pleasure, folks?
How about not Wednesday?
How about not Wednesday?
Might be in a foul mood.
And we would be counting ballots, so this room may be in disarray on Wednesday. How's November 4th?
Try to keep it late. Was Tina coming to that one? Is that the one she wanted to come to, or the one to use the building? Because you had an email with her about that.
Yeah.
I think it was that meeting that she wanted to come to.
Okay.
We still got a little ways to figure that out.
All
But,
right,
you had a discussion with her about coming to a meeting. I think
I think you're
it was
right.
that meeting. So
all right, let's check with her on that. So we do have a select board meeting between now and then, but we should nail down. Do we meet on Monday, November 4th? It's fine. Okay. Is that okay? Okay, so let's plan on that.
sounds good. No problem.
Dark, it won't-
What's that?
So it'll be dark. when it's not out, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. But I want to make sure, gonna make a plan for that.
right.
Our work on the local hazard mitigation plan is ongoing. We are doing it at a feverish pace to get it done on a schedule to make sure we get, because right now it's technically expired. So if we had a federally declared disaster, our reimbursement rate would be substantially lower than what it would be if a plan is in place. So we're doing very well. As a matter of fact, at the next meeting, we should have a presentation of the draft plan.
Okay.
And then we can go on from there. So hopefully in the next few months we'll have it ready. but we'll have Greg from the Regional Planning Commission will be coming to do that too. So that'll be good. Reminder, the office is closed Monday for the holiday. And as Chris said, we have fire prevention on Thursday. I'll be in and out Thursday. I'm teaching most of that, so I'll be out morning and afternoon on Thursday doing that. And with our new pocket park, I think it'd be a great thing for if we have a new full-time rec director for him to be able to help with planning and grant writing for that too. So yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, I have, let's see. What do I have? Well, we'll start with first. Any questions for Bill? Okay, second, United Way is doing a Leading the Way campaign for 2025, and they are having a quote 2025 key person kickoff on Tuesday, October 22nd from 8:45 to 10 a.m. It's going to be at the Hub Co-works at Merchants Row, down to where our Rotary Club meets. So we ask that you RSVP by October 8th, that would be today, if we identify and send a key person to this event. Would anyone like to be Rutland Town's key person at this event? No one's making eye contact.
Sounds like you're volunteering yourself.
I really.
This is what they're their campaign kickoff.
Campaign, workplace campaigns, designated giving, workplace fundraising events, enjoy light refreshments and fresh pastries, I guess, as opposed to stale pastries. It's really good. And it looks like it's about an hour and 15 minutes long. Would you like to go, Matt?
Probably not, but when is it again?
It is
October
22nd. That's a Tuesday. Oh, it's the morning of our board meeting.
Oh, yeah, no, that's gonna be a no.
Got to choose now.
Yeah.
We'll be building a septic system.
I hope it's
I
mine.
really want him to go. I mean, he could stop doing that, but
I have to watch my contract.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I don't know if we've done, anyway,
yeah.
yeah, I don't, so we'll probably not be sending any.
Anybody
Would you
changes
like
their
to go,
mind,
Bill? Would you?
particularly.
Person from Rutland Town?
I wasn't planning on it.
Okay.
But if anybody had changed their mind, let me know tomorrow morning and I can put it
Okay,
in.
fair enough. Thank you very much. And I'll put that with the minutes.
Perfect.
Where I would be putting these in a folder, but there doesn't seem to be one. Okay.
No, light paperwork. Did you want to talk about the personnel committee meeting? We couldn't come up with we tried to come up with a date.
Scheduling.
About that, yeah.
Well, I do happen to have my calendar open.
Good for you.
Problem is I can't, I need two monitors to see them all.
Yeah.
Okay, well. I mean,
We've been doing Wednesdays, so how's October 23rd?
that sounds plausible because next week's gonna be a disaster.
Yeah, I wouldn't try it next week.
20. Yeah, before. From like 4 o'clock to
4 o'clock.
5:45 or something, or whatever you have to leave.
Yeah. So let's do it at 4 o'clock on October 23rd.
24th.
23rd.
The third is Wednesday.
At
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Wait.
Do you need to check the other calendar?
But yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Okay. Another calendar gets you every time.
Nope, I'm doing a presentation at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Do it on personnel policy.
But the Thursday,
Organize
the next day,
3 days from now.
I have a schedule.
the
I
next-
know.
I have a schedule that goes to heck the next morning. Yeah, you get up and something's broke or
Yeah.
something doesn't happen. It's just fun.
I think the Thursday, the 24th looks possible for me.
Okay. I think it is for me as well. And what time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, and we need to check with
Find
Teresa.
out from Teresa, yep.
I'll double check my calendar and,
If she agrees, do we send it, do we to book it?
yep.
Okay.
Look at Daniel.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Good.
So we found this would, and the agenda should read final.
Okay.
Okay.
Last
It's
chance.
not
It might probably.
be close.
Personnel committee meeting. Okay. We also have received, for your reading entertainment, the FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, a proposed agreement for the relicensing of the, oh, wait. The relicensing here and the part that relates to Vermont Historic Preservation Office. Because there are, I mean, this whole Pocket Park area is totally historic and like so many layers I can't even. So this is interesting because I thought that the land that we're looking at is totally taken out.
Yeah.
Okay, and
it
so
is.
this would only pertain to the part on the east side.
Yes.
Where the dam is and where the old buildings are, so. Okay, so if anyone would like to look at that, it is here. Because we participated in some of these discussions, we get a copy. I think I'll keep that with Pocket Park.
Yep.
All right.
The last thing is the budget planning.
Yeah,
Now that all the department heads are gone.
I know.
Fire them up, everybody get started and try to
What's-
have everything done by Thanksgiving.
I do not have sheets. I do not have draft
I
sheets
can't remember.
to hand out. So
And if we get it done by mid-December, we're good.
If we get it done by January, we'll be good. So let's pretend we're gonna get it done early December.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's gotten onto this new schedule really good.
Yeah.
The department heads seem to take the lead. They meet, they come up with a budget, meet with their committees, go over stuff. Unless, the biggest change, like to recreation, is gonna be the full-time director. So we've had that discussion, so it's out there.
Yep.
Highway, we've been talking about new equipment and doing something moving forward in the other stuff, so.
In
I think a
police,
lot of
we've
it's out
hired
there.
a new officer and we're getting we've got K9 Rooster back with his.
Training.
Yeah, soon. And you know what I haven't heard?
It's one thing I did want to ask Ed was about
School
resource
Yeah.
officer, where they are with that.
Yeah,
haven't heard
because
anything.
I'm wondering if the school is, I mean,
They just don't have anybody.
They don't, and we
Well,
have.
what is Keshiva coming for?
I don't know.
So, that's an interesting thing because
Yeah.
both us and the school have budgeted money for that position for this fiscal year.
Yeah,
But I guess there's not a lot of candidates out there for people. that
No,
wanna
I
do
mean,
this.
yeah,
police departments are having a tough time.
yeah. So, all right. And I think, well, we'll see. So target for having budget meetings with the committee meetings would be by a month, within a month? People think we can do that, okay?
By Thanksgiving.
I was thinking, like I said, we should have at least preliminary stuff done by Thanksgiving.
Okay, so that
That
would
gives
mean,
everybody, I mean, once you have them, then we will have somewhere in December, we're gonna have that
The
meeting where we
meeting where-
sit down and
yeah.
finalize them.
all
Cause
right.
it's nice to have all that stuff done before the first of the year, cause then it doesn't
Mhm.
back up. There've been years where we were into the new year,
Yes,
and so
Yeah.
we have been more proactive. It's not gonna, change. And the other thing is, if you wait just a little longer, it gives them a trend as to how their current budget's going. So it's a little easier to see what we might be shortfalling. And that year when fuel went through the roof, we'd already had budgets kind of done and finalized, and then we were, we came up short. So
Have a sidetrack. My daughter plays soccer. She's out at Kurt's Field right now. She just sent me this beautiful photo. Their team with a rainbow over the top.
Oh,
there on
wow.
Kurt's Field.
nice. Look at what happens on Kurt's.
And where's that?
That's
field?
that's
That's his
absolutely
polo
gorgeous.
Oh, the pole field. That's my land. They're joining that. We cross the river and
The
meet.
pot of gold is on your land.
Pot of gold's on my
Right.
land. Okey dokey.
Take
I had
that
some
picture
lady
and
walk
forward
in
it to
my
Bill and
land
we put it-
asking
send it
me
to
what I
him.
was doing there.
Just make, you know.
Okay, so target meet with
Okay.
your department heads, committees
Sure.
by Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then we'll plan on doing our budget. And we don't have December up there, but we'll plan on doing a meetings in early-ish December to get our,
So we should do a special night.
yeah,
We don't want to do it on,
Yeah.
so board meeting on New Year's Eve. Yeah, no. No. Negative. I have
I
much
think
better
Kurt's
things to
saying
do on
I'm
that day.
partying on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I got much better things to
New
do.
Year's Eve is better than New Year's.
So we should try
It
to do it
depends
for
how
like the
old
11th.
you are. You forgot you were
so
his
which
age
day?
once.
What do you say? Could you flip that up
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
please? Yeah.
I think the 11th. We should do it on an odd Tuesday.
That sounds,
Right,
10th.
okay.
yep.
So if we shot for the 10th to
10th,
finalize the
okay.
budgets. That way, if
December
it falls through, we got time to, rehash some stuff. If we have to do it on the 17th or that week, obviously, we don't want to do it Christmas Eve. And the select board meeting for the 31st is probably going to be the 30th or next year.
Yeah.
Either or. All right. It's another
Okay.
one. It's funny. It's the second month this year where we've had 3 like that.
Yeah.
July was like that.
Yeah, there's always a couple.
All right. Good. So that's our plan. Preliminary budgets by Thanksgiving and then our big budget meeting on December 10th. And we'll decide later what to do about New Year's Eve. Could be fun. I mean, we're a good group of people. Let's kind of, get pizza in and
Mary, are you looking at Kurt?
I spent my last year as fire.
Do you
chief
really
on New
want your
Year's Eve
septic system
at the
straightened out?
Garage we burnt up on Roof 4.
Yeah,
By
Safe
Little
Light.
Caesars. Yeah,
Safe
that's
Light,
New
yeah.
Year's Eve. That's
Uh-huh.
where I was.
oh,
I remember
God.
that.
That's where a whole bunch of us
A
were.
whole bunch of us were there.
It was
yeah.
a cold night, right?
That was a very cold night.
Okay, so is that it for, let's just go down through.
I think so.
We talked about the D, any new items? E is we need to go into executive session with Barbara to talk about possible land acquisition.
And I have I'll say a personnel thing I want to talk to you guys
Okay,
about.
and a personnel thing. Is there okay. For those 2 reasons, is there a motion?
I move that we go into executive session. for the
Second,
two particular meet with Barbara and a personnel issue.
Okay, all in favor of executive session, please say aye.
aye.
Aye, motion carries. So we'll excuse Bill at 8:09, 8:08. Is there any motion?
Move to adjourn.
2 motions made and seconded to adjourn.
Seconded
All in
twice.
favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good evening. Thanks, folks.